Sometimes I feel like I just need to be Michael instead of Michael Warbucks and talk about some things that are extremely terrible and things that happen and just overall despicable people. And today in Roanoke, Virginia, like the worst thing that I think someone could ever see actually happened on TV, and it's an absolute shame. If you haven't heard, WDBJ out of Virginia lost 2 of their employees this morning. The first one, 24-year-old Alison Parker, and her cameraman, 27-year-old Adam Ward. They were both shot dead live on TV this morning. This happened while Alison was interviewing Vicki Gardner, and Vicki was also shot, but luckily she is still alive. She went into the hospital. She went for surgery. She's going to be okay. If that's the only good news that comes out of all of this, you know what? I'll take it. But then you have pieces of shit like this killer. I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't freaking deserve it. But a little background on him is that he was a former employee at this news station 2 years ago. And from what I understand, the killer was quite problem employee. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I feel sorry for this killer at all because he lost his job, whatever it is. And if you're going to be angry at me about that, well, then maybe you should consider the fact that he filmed himself shooting all 3 of these people and then uploaded the video to his Facebook and his Twitter. But no, I'm the bad guy here. This guy wanted you to see what he did. And then after the shooting, he decided to drive off to try to escape police. But luckily, the police found out who he was, what kind of car he was driving, and they ended up chasing him. So now this killer's like, oh man, oh shit, I'm in a lot of trouble right now. And he ends up pulling out his gun that he used on them and then shooting himself. So then we go from there like, oh, okay, the guy killed himself. He took the bitch way out. But guess what? He even fucked up doing that. So now he is still alive in very critical condition. So I don't know how I feel. Do I want him to die or do I want him to live? I don't know. Either way, we could just admit that he's a terrible person. Regardless, whatever he gets, it probably isn't good enough for him anyways. And then, of course, out of all of this sparked a huge gun control debate. And what's funny is I actually saw tweets of people saying, well, you know, none of this would have happened if the reporter or the cameraman had a gun on them. Really? That's going to be your freaking rebuttal to all this? If you happen to watch that video, and I recommend that you do not watch that video, you literally see the killer coming up into these guys with 1, the cameraman with his back turned, and 2, the reporter, she wasn't even paying attention. He shot both of them and they didn't even know he was there. So if they would have had a gun on them, it still wouldn't have mattered. It is an absolute coward that went ahead and did this shooting. Allison and Adam both need to be respected and remembered for how they were. You do not need to see the way that they went out. Adam had just gotten engaged, and now his fiance is not going to be able to marry the man that she loves. And Allison, she was dating the anchor at this news station, Chris Hurst. So now this shooter has not only ruined 2 lives, but multiple others' lives around them. And you might be saying, well, what about the shooter's family? Right now, I don't give a shit. Hopefully they're with the rest of us and saying, oh my gosh, our son is a terrible person. But the gun control argument, yes, is definitely going to need to be brought up yet again. Because basically here in America, I think anybody with a pulse is able to get a gun. So let me just wrap this up by saying the WDBJ's family, your news family, to Adam's family, to Allison's family and friends and everybody involved, my heart goes out to you during this very, very difficult time. It's senseless violence like this that needs to end here in America and also all around the world, because now it's just gotten way too out of hand.